Math class, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Today we are talking about frequency tables. As you notice in these videos and in my PowerPoints, I tend to make very bad puns. For some reason, this is the first pun or subtitle went to my head. As a host, I frequently, frequency, wait on tables, like tables. So today's frequency tables, nothing too crazy here. You've actually probably seen this before, honestly. You just haven't really noticed it. So a little bit of vocab to get out of the way to kind of understand what we're talking about today. What is a frequency table? It's just a table that shows frequency counts. So when you think of frequency, just think of frequency like in everyday life. If I frequently go to this place, like I am obsessed with Whataburger, I will frequently visit Whataburger. That means I go on multiple occasions. It's like a count. So when a table shows frequency counts for a categorical variable, it's called a frequency table. So in this case, let me remove my little person out of the way. We have just some people representing travel choices of 10 travel agency clients. So, of these 10 people, five of them chose to go to USA for vacation, three chose to go to Europe, and two chose to go to Asia. Because why not? So, here, let me see if we go. Perfect. So, that is a frequency table. Bar chart, tables. We'll talk more about the different ways you can kind of display those. And that's kind of like the next section we're going to talk about. But a relative frequency table, this might be new to you. So if it is, here you go. When a table shows relative frequencies, it's called a relative frequency table. What does that mean? It says basically with relative frequency, let me get my laser pointer, we don't want to know the counts. We just want to know the percentages. Like what percentage of people chose a certain location. So with frequency tables, we're like, hey, five people chose USA, three chose Europe, and two chose Asia. That is the frequency. That's the counts. Relative frequency is saying, hey, I don't care about that. I don't want to know the counts. I want to know the actual percentages of people. So how do we actually calculate that? One, we're going to count the total number of items. So in this chart, 5 plus 3 plus 2, nothing too bad there. That'd be just 10. And we're going to divide the count, which is the frequency, by the total number. So, for example, for the USA, 50% chose USA. How did I get that? 5, which is the frequency for USA, divided by the total count, which is 10. Cool. 30% chose Europe. How do I know if it's 30%? 3, which is the frequency for Europe, over the total, and so on and so forth. Let's say I didn't give you Asia. Let's just say, for example, I didn't give you it was 2, and you knew it was 10. Obviously, you could figure out it was 2 from there. What I'm trying to get at is essentially all these percentages will add up to 100. So that's going to be kind of good there. But that's a pretty simple way to kind of calculate relative frequency. And so I love doing examples. I love, working through these things. And oh, oh, really? You want to do it right now? Oh, okay. So, guys, this is wow. Are you sure you're pretty busy? Okay, cool. So, we have a special guest right now. I didn't think he's going to show up, but I guess he is going to show up. So he's going to actually. You know what? Yeah, I'll let him work through this next example with y'all. So I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Howdy, y'all. My name is Mr. Starmer. You may know me. My grandpappy's name was Statistics. My pappy's name was Farmer. That's why they call me Mr. Starmer. And so I run a local zoo slash farm slash ranch slash wildlife exhibit. And so I'm a big fan, huge fan of Mr. Garcia's math class. And so he got me. I'm a very busy man, running a zoo 8 days a week, 48 hours a day. I'm a busy man, but I carve time, like I carve a turkey on Thanksgiving, carve time out of my schedule to be here for y'all folks. So we're talking about this thing called. Get, get, sorry, these animals are bothering me. It's like, do you guys want to see some of the animals? I brought some of them with me today. They're actually going to help me in my presentation. Probably not. First one brought today was a little lion, a little tiger, a little wildebeest. Not really sure what they're called. Not really sure what they do. But got this one here with me today. Next one here got me as one of those big cats. Another one of those big cats. It's kind of called a house cat. It tends to go meow in that deep voice too. Um, Not really sure why I got this critter, but it does something. I found it though. Heard it was lost, but I found it. And I keep trying to get rid of these critters because they run up always on my farm slash ranch slash wildlife exhibit. And I'm trying to get rid of these suckers. They're just running all over the place. And it's proof. I caught one of these critters the other day. I caught it, man, got rid of it. And I caught one of these as well. For some reason, it always makes a strange noise. It makes a strange noise. How do I know? But that's all the critters I have with me today. So my goal is to talk about this thing. Well, let me fix this technology issue. There we go. My goal is to talk about frequency tables. And this right here, it was a classic example of a frequency table. Now, notice here, we got the ages of people that visit my farm slash wildlife exhibit slash ranch slash everything. So let's find the relative frequency of this table. Okay? So we're going to start off simple. Alright, let's find the total number of people. So we have ages 0 to 9, then 10 to 19, and then so on and so forth. So it looks like we got 7, 5, 4, 6, 1, and 2. Alright, so let's find the total. Now, not too well with the mathematics, but I do know one thing. I do know the number of customers I get. So I'm gonna get the 7 plus the 5 plus the 4 plus the 6. And I'm also gonna add that 1 and the 2 as well. You know what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get 25. So here I'm gonna do. Take that marker. Total there will be 25. Alright. Now, as Mr. Garcia said, to find the relative frequency, I'm going to take each of these numbers right here, and I'm going to divide it by that total number, which is 25. So again, I'm not too good with the maths, but I do know one thing. I do know that 7 divided by 25 is going to be 0.28. My grandpappy taught me that growing up. 0.28. Now, I can keep it as a decimal. It really all depends. In this case, I may want to see a percentage. So let's change that 0.28 and say 28%. Alright, you here? So we're going to do the same thing now for the rest of these suckers. 5 divided by 25. We have the next part. Again, I do know one thing. 5 divided by 25. Be good old 0.20. Now, it doesn't help to put it as a percentage. So that would be 20%. I think you kind of see the trend I'm going here. So let me speed this up a little bit. I'm going to use that quick math here. 0.16. Then we got 0.24. Then we got 0.04. Then we got 0.08. And hey, here's a cool thing. They're not too hard, aren't they? Let's change that to a percentage. 16%. 24%. And now we got that 4% and that 8%. Now, don't know a lot of things, but do know one thing. If I add up all those relative frequencies, bet you get 100. Bet you get 100. Now, where's it? This was Mr. Starmer. Thank you for coming to my farm slash wildlife exhibit slash ranch slash everything. I hope you have a grand old day. Come on by anytime. I'm located at the following address. No, I can't. Sorry, folks. Turns out it's illegal for me to plug my farm slash ranch slash wildlife exhibit. Go ahead and Google me. Thank you, folks. Mr. Starmer, thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate it. He loves helping out the youth, helps helping out the kids around here. He's a very busy man, so he's working 8 days a week, 48 hours a day. So I don't want to take too much time out of his schedule. It's just he did it out of he did it out of the kindness of his heart. And so you there in your home, if you want to give him a good review on Google, that'll be very much appreciated. All right, so let's look at the example that he did one more time in case you couldn't write down or hear what he was saying. So the frequency table below shows the ages of people who visit Mr. Starmer's farm slash zoo slash ranch slash wildlife exhibit. So let's find the relative frequency of this table below. Now, I already did it, so you'll see you'll see it do the writing. So the first thing we did was find the total. So we did 25 all total, add them all together. To find each relative frequency, you take the frequency and then you divide it by the total. So you do 7 divided by 25, 5 divided by 25, 4 divided by 25, and so on and so forth. Now, while in this case you do get decimals, it's okay to leave them as decimals or to change them to percentages. It really all depends on the scenario and if the question asks. No, there's not much of a difference. It's still the same thing. The percentages in this case will add up to 100, or the decimals will add up to 1. Either way, it really depends. It doesn't really matter, honestly. So that is a relative frequency table. And let's look at the next thing, which is a two-way table. So you may also hear it called a contingency table. It's just vocab. Two-way table, contingency table, those are the same thing. But you can use it to examine relationships between categorical variables. So the entries can be frequency counts or relative frequencies, all right? And we'll see an example of both. But for right now, let's see this example. University surveyed its 200 students on their opinions of campus housing. So we have here the different genders, male and female, and 3 different opinions. Positive opinion, negative opinion, and neutral. So let me get my laser pointer. Cool. So notice here, it's a two-way table. It shows 2 totals. We have here on this side the totals of all males, all females, and then everyone all together. As opposed to down here, we'll get the totals of all the positive opinions, negative opinions, and neutral opinions. In this case, it's just frequency. You'll see relative frequency in a bit. And this is just showing all the different possibilities. And so the question is asking, what percentage of males had a negative opinion of campus housing? Now, to do that, it's actually kind of calculating the relative frequency. So we take males, take their negative opinion, and we'll divide it out by the total number of people who were surveyed. So in this case, we'll do 36 divided by 200, which would give us 0.18 or 18%. Yikes. A little bit better. Same thing for this next one. What percentage of females had a neutral opinion of campus housing? Okay, so females, go there, go to neutral. Okay, cool. Looks like it's 12. So same thing. 12 divided by 200 will end up being 0.06. So 12 divided by 200 will end up being 6%. So two-way tables are different ways just to display data. In this case, we display frequency counts. So let's see another example of a two-way table. So below is a table of people who in the park and people in the park and activities that they do. Let's complete this frequency table, and then in a bit we'll do the relative frequency. So here we have some missing spots actually. The last one we had all filled in, but we can fill it in. It's not too bad. So to find the total number of people who jog, just add up the male and females. That'll be 20. Same thing for flying kites. Only 5 people are flying kites. What? It's one of the best things you could do. Well, actually, there's a picnic. Picnics is actually the best thing you do. That's a fun fact. The best thing you do, picnic. Second best is fly kites. The third is jog, because no one in their right mind likes to jog for fun. Okay, to find the number total for males, let's just add up all their activities. So 9 males plus 4 plus 10, all of them together, we had 23 males. And you had two options here. You can either add 11 plus 1 plus 15 to get your total for females, or do 50 minus 23. Either way, you still get 27. And so, I mean, just finding the different table here, that's not nothing too crazy. And for this next part, to find the relative frequency, what we're going to end up doing is taking each of the frequency counts and dividing it by our total. So, yes, you probably need a calculator for this part, but you'll see some cool stuff happening. So 9 divided by 50 would be just 18%. 11 divided by 50, 22%, so on and so forth. So you'll start to see some cool stuff happening. Let me get my laser pointer here. Oh, it was already there. Cool. So notice as all these different percentages are coming into place, if I add up all these percentages, I still get the total percentage. Same thing here. If I add these percentages, I still get the total percentage here. So it looks like the percentages and relative frequencies are still acting up the same. Obviously, if I add up these totals, I should still get 100. Same thing here, should still get 100. And so relative frequency, frequency, two-way tables, all this is just a way to display data. The cool thing about this is it's all going to add up to 100. Now, one thing we did not discuss, and we're just not going to discuss it, is called cumulative frequency tables. It's just another way of you're basically doing the same thing. That's all you're doing. Um, but I hope this video was educational in some sense, and hopefully you enjoyed Mr. Stormer. I would pass along any good news you have for him. Oh, he left his chicken here. Um, this chicken was very fond of him. This chicken would just like squeal every time he got near Mr. Farmer. Thankfully, Mr. Farmer is not here, so that means we're not going to hear it. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right then. Well, if you have any questions, please sure to send me an email. If not, have a great rest of your day.